Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really tearing into a machine that always gets people talking. Apple's new M4 Mac Mini.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We've waded through, the stack of reviews, the tech specs, loads of consumer feedback. And our mission is basically to cut through all that noise. We want to pull out the really essential stuff, maybe some surprising facts.
Absolutely, because on the surface, it looks straightforward, but there are these interesting contradictions, these paradoxes baked right in.
Exactly, paradoxes. Let's start with maybe the most obvious one, what we're calling the value paradox. That $599 starting price looks tempting, right? Super accessible.
It does, but that's classic Mac Mini strategy. It's always been bring your own display, keyboard and mouse, BYODKM. Keeps that entry price down.
Right, but the real cost creeps up fast. That base 256 gigabyte SSD.
Yeah, I mean, come on. For most people today, it's really tight.
Yeah.
And you absolutely cannot upgrade it yourself later. It's soldered down.
So Apple kind of forces your hand. You either pay their, let's be honest, pretty steep prices for more internal storage.
Yeah, like it's what, $200 just to double it to 512 GB? That's significant.
Or you end up with external SSDs cluttering up your desk, which kind of defeats the purpose of that sleek, minimal design.
Exactly. It's a real trade-off right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Cost versus convenience, or maybe cost versus aesthetics.
Okay, so that's the value angle. Let's shift gears to performance. The M4 chip itself, specifically the 10-core CPU, reviews say it's incredibly fast.
Oh, it is. For the price category, the CPU performance is genuinely top tier. Great for things like 2D design work, Photoshop, Illustrator fly on it.
And developers seem to love it too, right? Fast code compiles in Xcode.
Yeah, definitely. For CPU-bound tasks, it's a little beast.
Yeah.
But, and this is the big but, that leads us straight into the performance paradox.
Which involves the graphics side.
Precisely. It uses an integrated 10-core GPU. Now, for everyday stuff, video playback, even light creative work, it's fine. More than fine, actually. But if your workflow involves heavy GPU lifting, we're talking intensive 3D rendering, complex visual effects, and something like After Effects or, high-end gaming.
Then you hit a wall.
Pretty much. You hit a performance ceiling. There's just no substitute for a dedicated, powerful graphics card for those kinds of tasks. So its value really, really depends on what you actually do day to day.
Gotcha. So, amazing CPU, but know the GPU limits.
Yeah.
Now let's talk design. It's tiny now, like really small, 5 inches by 5 inches.
Yeah, the new aluminum chassis is impressively compact, super minimalist, and they finally added front-facing USB-C ports, which is, believe it or not, a first for the Mini.
That's actually a big deal for convenience, but this shrinking act, it creates the design trade-off, doesn't it?
It does. Little things, mostly, like the power button. It's awkwardly placed on the underside now. You kind of have to fumble for it.
Huh, okay. And noise. Minis are usually pretty quiet.
Generally, yes. It stays silent for most tasks, but if you push it hard, like sustained rendering or compiling for a long time, that little fan can ramp up and become, noticeable. It's the physics of cooling a powerful chip in a tiny box.
Makes sense. Okay. Specs-wise, a big jump is the standard RAM, right?
Yeah.
16 gigs of unified memory now.
Yes. That's a huge improvement for the base model. Unified memory means the CPU and GPU share this super fast pool of RAM. Very efficient.
And you can configure it higher, up to 64 gigs on the M4 Pro models, I think. Though, again, soldered down, not user upgradable.
Correct. Soldered. That's part of Apple's whole philosophy, isn't it? Vertical integration. They design the hardware, the OS, the silicon.
Which gives them incredible performance and efficiency, that tight integration.
Exactly. But the trade-off is that lack of user upgradability for things like RAM and storage, which you often do get with Windows Mini PCs like Intel NUCs or machines from Beelink or Geekom.
Right. But on the plus side for Apple, you typically get really long software support. Like this M4 Mini will probably get macOS updates until, 2031 or something?
Easily. That's a definite advantage. And connectivity is solid too. Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, and support for up to 3 external displays simultaneously, which is pretty great for a box this size.
So putting it all together, what are actual users saying? The vibe seems positive overall.
Overwhelmingly positive, actually. Average ratings are super high, like 4.8 out of 5 stars. People love the speed, the size, the value proposition of that base model if it fits their needs.
But the complaints probably echo what we've been discussing.
You guessed it. Storage costs are a big one. The GPU limitations for demanding tasks. And there's this other thing some users report, a kind of translation penalty.
Translation penalty, what's that?
It's like Sometimes there are little compatibility hiccups with third-party gear, maybe some cursor lag with a specific non-Apple mouse, or monitors being slow to wake from sleep, or even occasional flaky behavior with USB-C hubs or peripherals.
So potential friction if you're not all in on the Apple ecosystem.
It can happen, yeah. Not always, but it's something people run into.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the 2024 M4 Mac Mini. It's clearly a feat of engineering. Amazing CPU power in this tiny, tiny box.
Definitely an outstanding choice for a lot of people. But as we've seen, it comes with some important ifs and buts.
So before anyone jumps in, maybe ask yourself a few key questions. First, is your main workload CPU heavy, or does it really lean on the GPU? That's crucial.
Absolutely. Second, have you calculated the real cost? Especially if that base 256 GB storage isn't going to cut it for you. Factor in those upgrade costs or an external drive.
And third,
are you mostly using Apple peripherals, or are you bringing a lot of third-party gear? Just be aware of that potential translation penalty.
Right. It really makes you think, doesn't it? With tech getting so powerful, but also so specialized.
Yeah.
Now, how good are we, really, at figuring out our own actual needs before we commit to something like this?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Matching the tool perfectly to your specific job.